Huh?
Well done.
I don't know. I need to figure that out. I mean, you guys have the hotel room. I almost wonder if I should just come over to the hotel and so do my makeup there and I can get ready. Yeah, I guess I can just get ready at the hotel. Yeah. I mean, I don't need that big of a space, you know. She's just gonna do my makeup and then I'm gonna get in my dress, you know. I don't need a. Okay, they officially moved. I need to go. I have to go see them soon because Dad has TurboTax and I have over my. Oh, send me that information.
All right, everyone, can you hear me? Shabbat Shalom, good Shabbos, Shabbat Shalom. We're going to begin our service on page 6 of our series. I'd like to welcome everyone, though, into our building for this very special Shabbat. Shabbat current, we have many things that we are marking. One of which is today as being a day of international remembrance of the date of the Holocaust we're drawing attention to on this Shabbat specifically. And I'd like to take a moment for us, before we start our service, to have a moment of silence, just a few moments and seconds, before we begin our service on page 6 of our Sidurians, Shalom Aleichem. Page 6 of our Sidurians. Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharei, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boechem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Barhuni L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Seifhem L'Shalom, Malachei Ashalom, Malachei El Elyon. Mi Melech Malachei Malachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. We'll now turn to our pamphlets, as we'll be lighting candles now, in observance of the loss of the millions who perished in the Holocaust.
People who are lighting candles, please come behind your candle. Number 1 is here.
So what number?
Come 6.
So tonight on International Holocaust Remembrance Day, we honor all those who perished during the Shoah, during the Holocaust. One generation comes into the world to be blessed with days of peace and safety. Another endures the cruelties of war. This hour of memorial, we recall with loving reverence all those who perished during the Holocaust. We honor all those who were driven in multitudes along the road of pain and death. They perished for no sin of their own. There will be not forgotten, for we will take them into our hearts and will give them a place besides the cherished memories of our beloved. They are now ours. To light the first candle at this time.
We light the first candle in memory of the helpless infants, children, and teenagers who were cut down like young trees before their time, before they had a chance to experience life.
We will not forget.
light the second candle in memory of all those who died with their children in your arms.
We will not forget.
We light the third candle in memory of all the mothers and fathers who were cruelly separated from their families.
We will not forget.
We light the fourth candle in memory of all the scholars, teachers, and rabbis who were murdered along with the priceless learning that was destroyed.
We will not forget.
We light the fifth candle in memory of the great heroes of the resistance who were so few against so many.
We will not forget.
Like you.
We light the sixth candle in the memory of the righteous Gentiles who risked their lives and the lives of their families to save innocent people.
We will not forget.
We light the seventh candle in the memory of all others who were killed in the Holocaust, the gypsies, the disabled, the political and social prisoners, the prisoners of war, the LGBTQ, the Jehovah's Witnesses, and many, many more.
We will never forget. Now that our candles are lit, we can prepare for Shabbat service now. We'll return to the theme of our evening for our sermon as we have a guest speaker for today. We'll turn now to page 7 in our Siddurim, page 7 of our Siddurim, as we'll be preparing to light the Shabbos candles. I'd like to invite up a volunteer to light our Shabbos candles for today. Hannah, it's going to be good.
Come, let us welcome Shabbat.
May His rays illuminate our hearts.
Light is the symbol of the divine.
The eternal is my light and my salvation.
Light is the symbol of the divine within us.
The human spirit is the light of the eternal.
Light is the symbol of the divine law.
For the mitzvah is a lamp and a Torah a light.
Light is the symbol of Israel's mission.
I, the eternal, have made you a covenant people, a light to the nations.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Amen.
Blessed are you, O eternal our God, who makes our lives holy through divine mitzvot and has commanded us to kindle the Shabbat lamp. May the eternal bless us with Shabbat joy.
Amen.
May the eternal bless us with Shabbat peace.
Amen.
May the eternal bless us with Shabbat holiness.
Amen. We're going to now turn to page 11 of our Siddurim. We're going to rise to the Hatzi Kaddish. Yizkadal v'yizkadash shemei rabba v'yalmati v'rachirtei v'yamlich malchutei v'chaye konu v'yoyme konu chaye dechol beit Yisrael ba'ad gala u'bizman kariv yemamru amen Yehei shmei rabba mivorak le'olam olomei almaya yitvarach Yitbarach, v'yishtabach, v'yitbahar, v'yitzramah, v'yitnaseh, v'yitzadar, v'yitzaleh, v'yitzalal, shemei kudashah, rehu, le'elam yikol v'yirchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran v'alman, v'yemeru, amen. Remain standing now for the Baruch Hu on page 12 of our Siddurim. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMivorach Baruch Adonai HaMivorach Le'olam Va'ed Baruch Adonai HaMivorach Le'olam Va'ed. Remain standing on page 13. We'll join together for an English translation for creation. Eternal God, your majesty is proclaimed by the marvels of earth and sky. Sun, moon, and stars testify to your power and wisdom. Day follows day, and the succession and the years vanish, but your sovereignty endures. Though all things pass, not let your glory depart from us. Help us to become co-workers with you, and endow our fleeting days with abiding worth. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv ha'ravim. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who brings on the evening. Page 14 will join together in addition at the bottom of the page. With eternal love, you love your people, the house of Israel, Torah and commandments, statutes and judgments you taught us. Therefore, O eternal our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will discuss your statutes and rejoice in the words of your Torah and your commandments forever. For they are our lives and they lengthen our days, and we will meditate upon them day and night. May you never remove your love from us, forever and ever. Blessed are you, O Eternal, who loves God's people, Israel. We'll now turn to page 15 of our Siddureans for the Shema. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Leolam Vaed. You may be seated for the Bial Hafta on page 16 of our Siddureans.
Thank you.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavecha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha v'hayu ha'devarim ha'eleh asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha v'shinatan levanecha v'tivar tavam v'shitecha v'beitecha u'letecha b'derech Ushaklecha uvkomecha, ukshatam neot al yadecha, v'hayu letotafot beinenecha, uktatam al mezuzot beitecha, uvisharecha. Leman tizkeru v'asitem eko mitzvotai, beitem kedoshim levolechem, ani Adonai Elohechem. Asher hotzeti etchem min eretz Mitzrayim leot lachem Elohim ani Adonai Elohechem Adonai Elohechem. And next. We're going to now turn to page 18 of our Siddureans from Michamocha. Page 18 of our Siddureans from Michamocha. Michamocha balim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar v'kodesh Nora tehilot osei felem Machutecha ra'u banecha Okeyam nifnei Moshe Ze eli anu v'amru Adonai iloch le'olam va'ed V'ne'emar ki farad Adonai et Yaakov L'olam me'achazak mimenu Baruch atah Adonai God Yisrael. Join together for the responsive reading on page 19 before we'll join together for the Amidah prayer on page 21. The responsive reading begins though on page 19. Cause us, O Eternal our God, to lie down in peace and to awaken us each morning to life renewed with strength. Spread over us the holy shelter of your peace.
Help us to over our lives by your counsel, lead us in the paths of righteousness. Be a shield about us, protecting us from hate and war, pestilence and sorrow.
Curb also within us the inclination to do evil, and shelter us beneath the shadow of your wings. Guard our going out and our coming into life with peace from this time forth, forever.
Blessed are you, Eternal, whose holy shelter of peace is spread over us, over God's people Israel.
We turn now to page 21 for the Amidah prayer. We rise. Adonai sefatati taku fiya gita ilatecha Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu Ve'imotenu Elohei Abraham Elohei Yitzchak Elohei Yaakov Elohei Sarah Elohei Rivka הנורא, אל עליון גומל חסדים טובים, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסר בו דמעות, ומביא גאולה לפני פניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר מושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם בעזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם העיניים, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, משיבו רוח למראית הגשם, מקלקל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומציל אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך מבין ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמה קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלע. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. We will now daven silently. After we've completed davening, we'll join together on page 29 of our civilians. We'll join together now on page 29 of our Sidurians for Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom b'ramav, Uyaseh Shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'emeru amen. I'd like to invite Liz Rothman now to say some words as an introduction to International Holocaust Remembrance Day. It is.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbos.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Liz Rothman. I am the chairperson of the Henry Rickless Holocaust Memorial Committee and the chairperson of adult education here at Congregation Etz Chaim. The Knesset of the State of Israel, the United Nations, and Jewish communities throughout the world have all proclaimed the 27th day of January as International Holocaust Memorial Day. It is a day to remember the 6 million Jewish people and the 5 million members of other marginal groups who were murdered during the Holocaust. This particular day was chosen because it is the anniversary of the liberation of the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camp by the Red Army. Today, we are witnessing an alarming rise in anti-Semitism and extremism, which makes it even more important for all of us to recognize the critical lessons of the Holocaust, as well as to commemorate the victims and to honor the survivors. We must mark this day by sharing the truth of the Holocaust and by confronting anti-Semitism and hate in our daily lives. To quote Elie Wiesel, to forget would not only be dangerous, but offensive. To forget the dead would be akin to killing them a second time. We must always respond with humanity towards all victims of hate. We must oppose all hate speech, all anti-Semitism, all Holocaust denial, and all prejudice against any and all minorities. It is our duty as human beings to do everything that we can do to prevent future genocides from ever occurring. Thank you.
So I'm really excited we have a guest speaker here today. Sometimes I'll invite a guest speaker in this time of year or even on Yom HaShoah, and it will be an academic presentation from someone who has been working in the field of academia for decades or sometimes even a couple of years, and they'll share some of their publications, some of their work. But it's important to note in all of virtually those circumstances where I've called upon people who I have personal connections with, friendships, or develop professional relationships with, they're all speaking from the Holocaust from a secondary perspective. They're speaking from the Holocaust as those who not primarily observed the incidents, the events, in the 1940s and the 1930s. Today we have someone who can tell us from their primary observation point what it was like. Not only that, they've written about their experience, and so I'd like to really draw attention to Judith Sherman, you can stand up right now. Some of you may know Judith, others this may be the first time you've met her, but I'm really excited that she's going to be sharing a little bit about her story today. Earlier I think it was 2 weeks ago, you shared with me 2 of your books, one of which was Say the Name, and it's an extraordinary story written and told in the voice of a 14-year-old Jewish girl from Czechoslovakia, whose life changed completely in 1939 when the Nazis invaded and you were separated from your family. And throughout the book, you see, the observer who read the book can see through your eyes the horrors and the atrocities of Nazis, the deportations, the hidings, the imprisonments, and the attempt to survive daily under unimaginable conditions. The narrative includes poems and prose and speaks in two voices that the young girl, yourself in that voice, watched as her family was torn apart, murdered, and others, in the voice of an adult survivor, attempted to have a conversation with God, asking whether he had been or whether he had noticed what had happened during the Nazi invasion as the world was redefined and terror ruled. Looking forward to hearing your words today and just for you to share with us some of your wisdom. So, you can go right ahead.
Can I stay?
You may stay there. I will move the microphone over.
More comfortable. Okay.
No problem. We have 3 standards now, and this one is this person.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Say the name. Say the name. Announce, pronounce, recite the name. 6 million times the name, the name. You must erase who smashed and gassed, erase the name. You careless world disdain their faith. I order you to script, engrave, imprint the name, and say and say and say the name. When every name is said and heard, repeat the name again, again. May you outlive eternity and say the name eternally. God please attend, God please assure that every name is accounted for. I write this poem to sort of jolt us into remembrance. Shabbat Shalom. But as you have heard, today is International Holocaust Memorial Day. The theme this year is the fragility of freedom. For the next 15 minutes or so, I would like to focus on me and the fragility of freedom. By me, I'm thinking of all Holocaust victims, because each Holocaust experience was an individual experience. We Jews all had in common the death sentence of the final solution. I do not die, but 6 million Jews and 11 million civilians were murdered by the Nazis, including my parents, brother, and most relatives. Today we know that Hitler's war was not only a war of conquest for Lebensraum or expansion, but also, and even primarily, a war of annihilation of the Jews, the Holocaust. It was my father's determination that when this law of the land comes to an end, all of us, some of us, maybe just one of us will survive, will defy, will survive. This injunction was my important survival brick throughout the Holocaust. But others with the same determination were not as lucky, were murdered. To escape deportations, I and my siblings crossed illegally into Hungary, and upon Eichmann's deportation in Hungary, we were smuggled back to Slovakia, where the whole family went into hiding. And my 7-year-old sister Miriam and I were taken into hiding by a brave, kind Christian family. Betrayal followed and imprisonment by the Gestapo, the most brutal Nazi group. After escape from the Gestapo prison, Miriam was again hidden by another brave Christian family, and I was captured while in hiding in the forest. Captured and imprisoned in Ravensbrück concentration camp in Germany. Oh, I do know the list of restrictions of freedom. Jews must. Jews are forbidden. But I'm so grateful for the memories I have of my early life, or before the after. Because of the morning sun and grandpa's jokes, because of the forest green and girls that green, because of ice cream cones and muddy slush between my toes, because of my messy bed and my brother's stupid hat, because of all that, I am glad. And bread memories, always bread memories. This good season so grain to flour. Women folk will make the bread and all will smell the bread and smile, a serious amen smile. And then terror. A gun with a bayonet is pointing at my sleeping head. A nightmare this, happening, but it is real, happening when I'm not quite 10. Why is he here, this man with a gun? Who yells at us in loud German? In the hall, against the wall, a gun is aimed at every head of uncles, aunts, my mom and dad. They find finally leave, they finally go. Now all of us know the taste and the feel of terror and fear. Jews must hand in valuables. We carried the old decorated mirror to the depot as ordered. This mirror is peopled with our family history. Woven into it are new hairstyles, new outfits, choices and hesitations, frugality and extravaganza. May the reflections of you, the new owners, reflect you greed and ugliness. Vardeyovske kupole. My cousin Elsa and I yearn for the outside world. Elsa is 13 and I 11. We decide we will visit Vardeyovske kupole, a nearby spa town. The town is forbidden and travel is forbidden. What about the star? I asked Elsa. They do not want the star, so we go without, she said. We risk discovery and punishment if apprehended without it, and imprisonment with it. Elsa's bravery and my desire propel me. We of course tell no one of our plan. In Vardeyevske kupole, we do all things forbidden to Jews. Sit on a park bench, enter a hotel lobby, enter a church, buy ice cream, pretend to use the public phone. And best of all, we walk on the sidewalk, which is forbidden to Jews, and do not elicit any special attention. Ordinary young girls, just ordinary. The Hitlerjugend are in town, Hitler Youth from Germany. Their high-polished shoes match their high confidence. Ice cream in hand, Elsa and I pretend legitimacy, but not with the same confidence as those interloping Hitlerjugend. Not wearing the Jewish star allows for such lightness of existence. I relish my visibility and absence of conspicuousness. I say, Elsa, can we sit on the park bench just one more time? Back home, relieved reprimands from our parents. Sweet was that stolen act of freedom. Ravensbrück concentration camp, Germany. I hate it. I hate it. My young body is a liability. The lice in my hair and clothing, scabs on my hands. Cold invades my every cell. Hurt, hunger, and the agony of thirst. Cough deprives me of non-existent energy. In spite of our shroud-like thinness, our bunk is still too narrow for the four of us. And our non-existent mattress too non-existent. We are forbidden shelter from sun and cover from rain. Yes, my body is a liability, but I try with all my non-existent might to hold on to it. Once you let the body go, once you give up, become indifferent, once you do that, the direction is always death, always death. Prisoner suicide is forbidden. Punishment, if caught attempting suicide, is attacked by the ferocious SS dogs, beatings, hanging. Punishment options are unlimited. There is no limit to their harshness. Harshness is the essence of the camp. In the camp, I examine the ground for something to chew on. Grass, a twig, a leaf. All that grew was already uprooted by other hungry prisoners. Here nature mimics the Nazis, withholds and deprives. With spoon in hand, I practice eating, lest I forget. And since evening soup is an eternity away, I develop a system of distraction. I will think of every thought I ever had, every person I ever knew, every song I ever sang, every place I have ever been to. And then I think of new categories. But invariably, hunger intrudes, shatters my fantasies. As we finally eat our soup, we can hear and taste the grinding of dirt in our mouth. After soup, the women talk of recipes. How much sugar and flour for strudel, how many eggs for sponge cake. Everyone's recipe is foolproof. Been in the family forever. No talk of family, just food. That's easier. But family images come with recipes. Women prisoners feed themselves and each other on food memories. A futile gesture, but a survival break. I'm obsessed with the desire for my half-bread ration, which I am saving for morning, seeming through a roll call. Invariably, my sensible plan fails. Next morning is an uncertain eternity away. You cannot trust next morning. I eat my bread and pray for a dream with food in it. The SS guy walks by with his dog. He's the ugly camp reality. He's young, fit, abusive, and intoxicated with Hitler's propaganda. On his helmet is the insignia of Totenkopf, Belter, and on his belt buckle, Gott mit uns, God with us. They claim monopoly of hell and of heaven. Deutschland über alles is their national anthem. Germany above all, meaning Germany is above everything and everyone. I pray, come Messiah, Lord, it will suit us fine if you make this Messiah time. It's not the apocalypse you cue to do the Messiah thing. The house coat. What luck? Luck is the best, most rich for currency in the camp. What luck? I'm transferred from the sick block to the Siemens factory. Here the soup is thicker and our paradox shorter. But the slightest suspicion of sabotage in this Siemens armament factory results in being hanged, shot, or sent to a nearby gas chamber. In this subcamp, the toilets are outside the barrack. I go there on my first evening. Suddenly, the watchtower guard shouts, "Halt, halt!" He shouts, I run. He shoots, I run. I keep running, and he keeps shooting. I do not see the bullets, but smell them all around me. I manage to reach my barrack, but all are awakened by the shooting. The door is opened by the block eldest, the prisoner supervisor. She whispers angrily, "How can they keep an eye on you in the dark, you stupid, stupid Jew? Schnell, order, mach alles normal." She pushes me angrily onto my bunk. She's terrified lest the SS enter to investigate the shooting. My presence outside would be seen as an attempt to escape. Nothing in register more than escapes. They take that personally. The supervisor would be held responsible. She would be shot, I hanged, and the whole barrack punished. I should be worrying about this. I should be worrying about the shooting, the hanging, and the communal punishment. But all I can think of is the pink housecoat. How does she manage a pink housecoat in Ravensbrück? How? In my past, I too have worn a housecoat. I know of that. But the bullet into my body and noose around my neck, my mind refuses. The night passes without SS intrusion, and at soup times the blockout tester puts a whole potato into my soup, perhaps to celebrate that they're both still alive. To this day, I'm loyal to potatoes. Never pasta, always potatoes. When I visit my grandchildren, I bring no treats. I bring home fried potatoes, my treat. That much. Hitler orders prisoners to leave camp in order not to fall into enemy hands. The enemy is the approaching Allied army. After days of marching, even our guards are tired. No more march schnell, no more verfluchte Jude. They just shoot us wordlessly. Liberation. We are liberated by Russian soldiers. I'm enveloped in contrast. Plentiful potatoes, bread made of flour and not sawdust. Death, stand aside. Do not hover by my side. I run, I hum, I'm everywhere, I'm everything. Help to its freedom is allowed. I have others and others have me. Allow this freedom, help this freedom. Yes, yes, that is full freedom. But there is one fragility of liberation that I dare not challenge. I do not check the daily Red Cross lists of known survivors. In camp, I could fantasize a reunion with my family, but now I fear reality. Back home in Kurima, Slovakia, that ugly reality hits. Only Miriam and I returned. We survivors had also hoped that after the Holocaust, terror, anti-Semitism would cease. But anti-Semitism and Holocaust denial is on the rise, as is genocide across the world. The solution, Deborah Lipstadt said, preventing anti-Semitism and preventing the restriction of freedom must start in the kitchen. And so, on this day of Holocaust commemoration, I invite the whole world into the kitchen. Today, we are fully committed to never again, and we ask the world to stand with us. Thank you very much. I'm sorry. I can't. Yeah, well, actually, no, because I think it's the commemoration, it's not the lecture, so I don't think it's appropriate. Yes, thanks. I would rather not. It's not appropriate. Okay, thank you.
Okay, so after. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, very good. All right. So afterwards, we will have an opportunity to talk a little bit after our service, and I invite everyone to stick around for that as well. So we're going to now turn to the Mishavera prayer. It's found at the very back of our Siddurim. The very back of our Siddurim, we have the Mishavera prayer. I'll be reciting names from our Mishavera list. After the names have been read aloud, I'd like to ask if there's anyone who would like to add any names to that list, to please include those names to that list for today. Today's Mishavera list includes the following names: Miriam Mendel ben Shira, Nachman ben Malka, Shlomo Lev ben Malka, Israel Reuven ben Devorah Elka, Alan Lewis, Esther Baruth, Yehuda ben Joseph, Russ Pineri, Gerald Longmore, Sissy Curlin, Isidore Schiffman, Yvette Zamos, Michael Berkowitz, Susan Sklar, David Rothschild, Ellen Rosenbaum, and Holly Matthews, Jessica Herman, Phil Miller, John Zwally, Brian Leibowitz, Lynn Ginsberg, Sam Perlman, Erwin Lenchner, Sharon Lenchner, Stanley Levitt, Myra Levis, Rabbi Ellen Darnoff, Kelly Gustava, Wendy Sanseverny, Sharon Lenchner, Jen Funchtel, Gerald Longmore, Ida Lawford. Are there any additional names anyone would like to have added to the list for today?
Carol Lichtenstein,
Carol Lichtenstein,
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield,
Dolly and Roger Bloomfield,
Corky Hockenberry,
Corky Hockenberry,
Richard Bell.
Richard Bell,
Gina Pasternak.
Gina Pasternak,
Bob Goldner.
Bob Golda,
Goldner.
Goldner,
Arnie Albach.
Arnie Albach,
Alan Kaplan.
Alan Kaplan,
Fran Benjamin,
Fran Benjamin,
Bruce Estrin.
Bruce Estrin,
And Susan Harris.
Susan Harris,
Linda Hernandez.
Linda Hernandez,
Gloria Morrison
Gloria Morrison,
and Marilyn Lowenthal.
Marilyn Lowenthal, Marilyn Sabowitz as well this week. Go ahead.
Barbara Allen Steinberg,
Barbara and Alan Steinberg,
Erin Evans.
Aaron Evers,
Collie Goldstein
Collie Goldstein,
and Frank Klein.
Frank Klein,
Gabriel Levecki.
Gabriel Levecki,
And Lois Flambeau.
Lois Flanders,
Henry Lopez.
Henry Lopez. Thank you. Once again, the words to the Mishavera prayer can be found at the very back of our Siddurim. Today we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to rise as the ark is being opened. Mishavera avotenu lekor abrecha reimotenu. May the source of strength, who blessed the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say, Amen. Mishavera imotenu mikor abrecha leavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say, Amen. We remain standing now for the Elenu prayer found on page 30 of our Siddurim. Once again, the Elenu may be found on page 30 of our Siddurim. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol l'teik gedula l'yotzei breshit shelo asan kikirei ha'ratzu velo samanu kimishpechot adama shelo sam kalkinu kahem v'gor aleinu kithol amonam v'inachnu kori umishtachavinu moidim lifnei melech u'melchei amlakim HaKadosh Baruch Hu Shehunete Shamayim V'Yosei Haaretz U'Moshe Yekaro B'Shamayim Nima'al U'Shechinatu Zo B'Govei Meroimim U'Eloheinu Ein Hod Emet Malkeinu Echad Kakatu b'Torato v'yadatayom v'hoshivota ela bevecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim imao v'yal haaretz mitachot ein od. Page 31. We therefore hope in you, O eternal our God, soon to behold the splendor of your might. Then will false gods vanish from the earth, and the idols will be utterly cut off, to heal the world through the sovereignty of the Almighty. Then will all acclaim you as their God, and forsaking evil turn to you alone. Let all who dwell on earth acknowledge that unto you every knee must bend, and every tongue swear loyalty. Before you, O eternal our God, let them humble themselves to your glorious name, let them give honor. Let all accept the yoke of your dominion, that you may rule over them soon and forever. For the dominion is yours, and you will rule in glory, as it is written, the eternal will reign forever and ever. V'ne'emar v'haya Adonai lemelech al kol haaretz vayom hahu yeh Adonai echad u'shemo echad. May remain standing for the Mourner's Kaddish. The Mourner's Kaddish may be found on page 33 of our Sidduremes. Once again, the Mourner's Kaddish may be found on page 33 of our Sidduremes. In just a moment, I'll be reciting names of our community who have recently passed. After those names have been read aloud, we will turn to members of our community who we are observing a yurtzeit for. After those names have been read aloud, I'd like to ask if there's anyone in our community who are observing a yurtzeit or in the period of Shloshim to share with us the name of your loved ones, so that we as one community may pray for the elevation of their neshama to Shemaim above. Recently passed from our community is Stephen Lichtenstein. Also, we have Len Smolin. Our yurtzeit list for today includes the following names: Etta Spivak, Mark Hoberman, Dina Lerner, Howard Barron, Harry Hires, Daniel Wander, Aaron Salewitz, Jerome Pollock, George Feldman, Rachel Boyder, Jerome Roth, Pauline Schwartz, Leonard Goodman, Clarence Manziano, Howie Korn, Charles Fleschick, Marty Pine, Jay Fox, Ruth Levinson, Beatrice Korn, Harry Gottmacher, Beatrice Boda, Leo Blumenstock, Ann Longmore, Louis Rothberg, Edward Spivak, Bertha Friedman, Sheila Lewis, Bernice Peck, Cecile Libros, Young Kao Chow, Morris Cohen, Gary Friedman, Stephen Finkel, Simeon Barron, Molly Netterman, Shirley Wanting, Jeffrey Sussowitz. Are there any additional names anyone is observing a yurtzeit for here or in the period of Shoshinas? We'll go from this side.
Arlene Sager.
Arlene Sager.
Jonathan Bennett Sr.,
Jonathan Bennett Sr.,
Zoe Levinson,
Zoe Levinson,
Patrick Callahan,
Patrick Callahan,
Judith Harris.
Judith Harris,
Roger Fogelman.
Roger Fogelman,
Lillian Shapiro.
Lillian Shapiro,
Gil Marcus.
Gail Marcus,
And Muriel Sheffrin.
Muriel Sheffrin. Pointing to our day, I'll also draw attention to the memories of the 6 million, and in addition to the 6 million and the poignancy of our day, we'll draw attention to additionally to them 1,400 Israelis who passed on October 7th. Remain standing in their memories today. The Mourner's Kaddish is on page 33 of our Sidduremes. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah v'alma divrah hirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayekonu v'yoymechon v'chayei v'chol Beit Yisrael v'agala gizman kariv v'imru amen. Yahei shmei rabban nivarach la'olam olamei almaya yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei v'kudusha v'reichu le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nekamata gamiran v'alman v'imru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shamaya v'chaim aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'el kol Yisrael v'imru amen. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort all who are bereaved, and let us say, Amen. You may be seated. We now have a moment for some announcements.
Shabbat Shalom again.
Shabbat.
Saturday, January 27th, Torah study at 10 o'clock a.m., worship at 10:30. Donations for Israel, you can find the information on our weekly email. Havdalah dinner and cabaret, Saturday, February 3rd, 5:15 p.m. Includes Fred and Murray dinner, $36 per person. More information on weekly email. Lynn, anything else?
We extended the deadline till Sunday, so you can still register.
Matt Medem is January 31st, Hebrew School January 31st, Gesher February 1st. The Henry Rickless Holocaust Memorial Committee will be meeting February 7th at 2 o'clock p.m. New members are always welcome. Blood drive is February 11th. The Yom HaShoah this year will be with Monroe Township and will be at the Senior Center and will be held on April 28th. Thank you.
We're going to now turn to page 34 of our Siddurim for Adon Olam. Page 34 of our Siddurim for Adon Olam. Adon Olam Asher Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Leit Nasa V'Chefzo Kol Azay Melech Shemo Nikra B'Yachai Trei Kilot HaKol Levado Yimloch Nora Vehu haya, vehu ove, vehu iya b'tifara, vehu echad v'ein sheni, l'hamshilo l'hachbira, v'li reishi v'li tachli, v'lo ha'oz v'hamizra, vehu eli v'chaya goeli, v'tzor v'li v'yesora, Nisi umanosli menat kosi beyom ekra biyado akid ruchi v'yeti shan mi'aira v'im ruchi geviyati Adonai li velo ira. We're going to conclude our service with Hatikva. Liz, please rise for Hatikva. Kol Balela Hemima Nefesh Yehudi Omiya Valete Mizrach Kadima Ayin Lesion Sophia Odo Avdan Tikvatenu Atikva Shnotamai Liyotam Koshi Be'arsenu Eretz Sion Yerushalayim Liyotam Koshi Be'arsenu Thank you everyone for being part of our service. We're going to now join together for the Kiddush as well as for the Hamotzi. Do we have any volunteers or anyone who would like to volunteer for the Kiddush as well as the
Volunteer
Hamotzi?
right there.
Everyone is pointing to Stephen. It's going to be Stephen this evening. Good Shabbos, everyone.